So welcome to this presentation, and let me start with a brief introduction to the data science and data engineering master degree offered at Politecnico di Torino. We decided to start this master degree 5 years ago, so in the academic year 2019-2020, we had the first edition of this master degree. The data science is the core of this master degree, together with the engineering part. So we plan to prepare people that are able to solve problems. We train engineers, focus on the data science area, so data scientist and data engineer. The data science area covers different topics, different knowledge is needed to solve a data science problem. Here I report the slides where we have a description of the main characteristics that a data scientist or a data engineer must have, or better, which are the content that we should share in a data science master degree. Okay, you can see that we have references to machine learning because we are interested in analyzing automatically data using machine learning algorithm. Statistics and mathematics, because we need to use statistical methods and mathematical methods to analyze the data. The machine learning algorithms at the end are based on some mathematical and statistical concepts that are really important. But then obviously we have also other things that are important, programming. So we need to be able to write programs to analyze our data, to collect our data, to manage them. So data science is not only machine learning or mathematics, but it's machine learning, mathematics, programming. We have also some other areas that must be covered, like data stewardship. So we need to understand who is the people in charge of managing the privacy associated with the data that we are using and all the copyright information related to the data or something like that. We have ethical issues because we cannot simply implement a very efficient machine learning algorithm that is able to perform, for instance, good prediction about the fact that you are a good customer or a bad customer. If you are using some data that cannot be used for that specific purpose, you are probably having problems. So you develop something that is potentially very useful, but then you cannot use it because there are some rules that do not allow you to do that. Some of these rules can be related to laws applied by the countries in which you develop your application, but there are also some ethical aspects that we need to pay attention to. Okay. The final goal of a data scientist and a data engineer is to extract knowledge and value from the data. The data can be unstructured data or structured data, but the main goal is that you have a large amount of data, you want to apply a data-driven approach to extract useful knowledge for someone and useful value from the data that you have, okay? But you need also to be able to communicate the results that you generate and visualize the result of your analysis. So if you are a very smart guy or girl able to write very efficient and very effective machine learning algorithm, but then you are not able to interact with the management, for instance, of the company for which you are working, at the end, you are not able to conclude everything. So you implement again something that maybe is very efficient and very effective, but then if you are not able to communicate the results and communicate with the management, you cannot hope that your system will be really used in real application. Okay, so a data scientist and a data engineer, and so also the path for becoming a data scientist or data engineer, covers many different topics. Okay, and here we have a picture in which we have a summary of the different topics that are needed, different areas that are covered by a data science and a data engineer master degree program like the one offered at Politecnico di Torino. So why we decided 5 years ago to define this new master degree, and the main reasons are related to the requests from students and the requests from companies and the increasing demand for data-driven applications. So 5 years ago, big data was the main keyword associated with data science and data engineering. Nowadays, we have machine learning, deep learning, large language model. But at the end, also today, there is still a a large demand for data scientists and data engineers. So engineers that are able to analyze data, to write programs and pipelines to analyze data, and to manage data-driven problems using data-driven solution. Okay, so these are the main reasons why we decided to activate this master degree some years ago. The goal is related to something that I already mentioned before. So we want to train data scientists and data engineers, so interdisciplinary professional focus on data. And in order to do this, we need to provide core knowledge related to some specific topics and to some specific aspect related to data science. Okay, so here I report some of the main topics that are covered during the master degree in data science and engineering. So we need to train you in order to be able to model and use algorithms to analyze data. So we need to provide you information about how to write algorithms, efficient algorithms to analyze data, how to implement and use machine learning and deep learning algorithms. You will mainly use deep learning algorithms and machine learning algorithms. Also, real employees at the end of your master degree, when you will start working for companies like as a data scientist or a data engineer, you will mainly use machine learning algorithm and deep learning algorithm, but sometimes you will also try to change something in the algorithm, maybe the loss function that is one of the functions that is used in a machine learning algorithm, or change something else, train some models, not from scratch. Usually we cannot train very big models in a single company if you're not working for one of the big tech companies available in the world. But we will teach you how machine learning works, and so potentially you have also the knowledge that is needed to propose new machine learning algorithms. Okay. Another important aspect in a data science pipeline is related to the data management. So you need to understand how to collect data, how to store them efficiently, how to manage them, how to simply query them. If you have terabytes of data and you want to execute a very simple SQL-like query, you cannot use a traditional relational database, centralized database, because you need hours or days to simply read the content of a data set, a database with terabytes of data. So for this reason, you need to learn how to use NoSQL databases, how to use other technologies that are specifically designed for analyzing big amount of data using databases that are not traditional relational databases. But then, as I mentioned before, also mathematics, statistics, and probability are very important for a data scientist and a data engineer. Okay, mainly for the data scientist, but also for a data engineer, this knowledge is important. As a data scientist, if you want to change something in a machine learning algorithm, as I mentioned before, you can do that, but only if you have a good background on mathematics and statistics and probability, because otherwise you cannot decide what is the best function to use for your machine learning algorithm, or what is the impact of changing something in your machine learning or deep learning algorithm. For this reason, we provide a strong background on mathematics and probability, because these are concepts that are fundamental for a good data scientist, independently of the domain application in which you will apply data scientist concept. Another area that is reported here that is correlated with data management, we need to analyze, as I said before, big amount of data. Usually you have big amount of data and you need to process them efficiently using a parallel approach. You can no longer use a centralized approach. For this reason, we have also courses focused on distributed algorithm for big data analytics. So using frameworks like Spark or Apache Flink, we will show you how you can parallelize the analysis of your data when you have big amount of data and you are using a data center in which you have maybe hundreds of servers that are analyzing in parallel this big amount of data. Okay? But also data ethics and data protection are aspects, maybe more soft skill topics that are very relevant for a data scientist. As I said before, if you don't pay attention to these problems, data ethics and data protection, it may happen that you write a very innovative algorithm, you implement a solution that is very effective for your problem, but if you use some data that cannot be used for some privacy reason, or if you don't pay attention to the bias that you have inside your model cannot be deployed, cannot be used in production. Okay, so it is very important to implement new data science pipeline, new data-driven solutions using data protection and data ethics by design approach. So you need to ask yourself before starting the design of your algorithm if you can use the data that you have and which are the impacts, the ethical impacts of the algorithm that is going to automatically analyze your data. Okay, so these are important aspects. And finally, the innovation management part. Again, if you implement something that is very effective, but you are not able to explain why your algorithm, your application, your data science pipeline is important for solving the problem of someone, for generating value for someone, nobody will use your application. So also the communication part is very important, and in particular, the communication connected with the innovation. So you need to be able to explain why your application, your solution is innovative, and which are the positive impact of this innovation that you are proposing. Okay. Obviously, some of these topics are more theoretical, some other are more practical, but in the Master Degree in Data Science and Engineering at Politecnico di Torino, we have a strong hands-on approach. The majority of the courses are characterized by some lab activities in which you try to solve real problems during the lab. Many courses are focused on or are partially associated with a team task. So you have to solve some problems. This is part of the final exam. Working together with someone else, because usually the problems that you have to solve are relatively complex. You have some group activities, and the goal is to solve the problem assigned by the teacher. Okay, so the majority of the courses has many lab activities, and you can learn using an hands-on approach how to solve real problems. This is the structure, the current structure of the 2 years. The master degree in data science engineering lasts 2 years. In the first year, we have mainly mandatory courses. Those involved are mandatory courses, fundamental courses. They are used to provide you the basic knowledge about how to manage data, how to implement a data science pipeline from the beginning to the end, independently of the specific domain in which you are applying this pipeline. So we provide you information about and knowledge about how to collect data, how to process data, how to use machine learning algorithms. Obviously, as I said before, we also show you the internals of the algorithms in order to allow you to change an algorithm, machine learning or deep learning algorithm if it is needed. But the main goal of the first year is to provide you the basic and fundamental knowledge and skills that are needed to solve a data-driven problem. Okay, and we cover all the steps of these data-driven solutions, from the data collection to the machine learning application to data visualization and communication. And then there are some other courses. Specifically, there are 2 tables, subtables. These are the 2 subtables that I'm focusing on, from which you select one single course from each subtable. Okay, these courses are mainly related to what you already learned during the bachelor degree. Suppose that during the bachelor degree you attended a bachelor degree in computer engineering, and you spend only a few hours, or you had only a very preliminary course on statistical methods. In this case, we suggest you to use this course that is focused on the basic concept related to statistics. Differently, if during the bachelor degree you attended a bachelor degree in mathematics, there is a more advanced course related to mathematics that you can select. So the basic idea is that based on your background, you select one of the 2 courses in order to learn new things that are useful for your specific background. Similarly, also this second subtable. Also here there are courses, for instance, object-oriented programming is a basic course focused on object-oriented programming. If you have a bachelor in computer engineering or computer science, you must not select this course because you already have the knowledge and the skills related to the content of this course. But you can select, for instance, something related to information theory on optimization or optimization techniques, because that is something that is useful for a data engineer and a data scientist, and is something that you did not learn during the bachelor degree. Okay, but as you can see, there are only two options, only two subtables from which you can select some specific courses. All the other courses are mandatory courses that are considered fundamental for data scientist and a data engineer. So at the end of the first year, you have all the basic skills that are needed to solve a data-driven problem, considering also the impact in terms of ethical impacts and the problem related to data protection. The second year is more focused on vertical domains. So there are only two mandatory courses somehow, or better, a mandatory course that is innovation management, the one in which we teach you how to manage innovation associated with data-driven solution in the companies. And then you have the master thesis. The master thesis lasts usually between 4 to 5 months, 22 credits. And during the thesis work, you have to solve a new problem. Usually, if the thesis can be done at the university, in that case, you have to solve a new scientific problem. Differently, if you want, you can also do the thesis in a company. In that case, you have to solve a real problem using all the knowledge that you learn during the master degree. The other courses of the second year are related to specific domains. For instance, suppose that you are more interested in large language model, deep natural language algorithms that can be used to analyze automatically textual documents and textual data. So in that case, you can select from this option the deep learning processing, deep natural language processing course. Or you are more interested in how to collect data and how to analyze data using IoT devices, so using machine learning on the edge approach. In that case, you can select machine learning for IoT. These two courses are related, as you can see, to different objectives. So the first one is probably more of interest for a data scientist that usually uses deep learning algorithm related to natural language processing more frequently. And the second course maybe is more adequate for someone that is interested in becoming a data scientist, because in that case you must be more expert on how to write programs, how to develop and deploy programs, also on IoT devices if it is needed. Similarly, we have another table that is more related to simulation. Do you want to learn how to simulate, generate data automatically, how to simulate an environment, because sometimes you don't have data, even if you want to apply a data-driven approach. So you need to use some simulation techniques to generate synthetic data that then can be used to train your models, your machine learning or deep learning models, to solve the problem that you're interested in. Or maybe that you are more interested in mathematical concepts related to networks and graphs. And so here we have other options that can be selected, other two courses that you can select if you are more interested in the mathematical part related to graph, neural networks, and network dynamics in general. Okay, and finally, there are 12 credits. That means usually two courses, each associated with 6 credits, that are called free HETS. So these courses can be selected by you to personalize your path, to personalize your career. Okay. Here you have a set of options. You can decide that you want to spend a period in a company to learn something about how a data scientist or a data engineer, which are the goals of a data science or a data engineer in a company. So you can select the internship, or you can select 2 free HETS credits. And here in these free HETS credits, you have courses on large language model, but you have courses also on software engineering if you are more interested in improving your knowledge of software engineering. You have courses related to explainability if you want to understand how to manage the explainability problem related to deep learning algorithms. Or another option, applied data science project. The applied data science project is an activity, a course in which at the beginning we provide you some knowledge about how to manage a project, a data science and a data-driven project. We provide you some information about how to organize your work. And then here we have 21 hours of lectures in which we teach you how to manage a project. And then you have 90 hours, more or less, that are focused on the development of is focused on solving a problem assigned by a company. Applied data science project is not something related to, it's not something that you do in the company like in the internship. It's an activity that is performed in the university. But the idea is that a company assigns a task and you are in charge of solving this problem. You have intermediate meeting with the company and with the teachers of this course to show the progress of your project. And then you have to deliver a solution that works for the assigned task. Okay. So as you can see in the second year, you can personalize your path. You can personalize your career. The basic goal is to train you to be a data scientist or a data engineer. There are no specific path related to data scientist or data engineer. As I said before, there are some courses that are probably more related to the data scientist role and some other courses that are more related to the data engineer role. But we provide you during the master degree in data science and engineering all the knowledge that is needed to become both a data scientist and a data engineer. So at the end of these 2 years, you can be hired by the companies and you are ready to be both a junior data scientist or a junior data engineer. Obviously, at the end of the 2 years of the master, you are not immediately the top data scientist of the company or the most expert data engineer of the company. You are usually enrolled, you are usually hired by the company as a junior data scientist or a junior data engineer. Okay. The main difference between these two figures is that the data scientist is more focused on the design, the high-level design of the data science pipeline. So the data scientist analyzes the requirements of the problem. The data scientist designs the first version, the first prototype of the data-driven solution that is needed to solve the problem. And then it's usually also the people that is in charge of communicating with the management to understand if the solution that he or she is designing is adequate for the problem assigned to him or her. Okay. Then we have the data engineer. The data engineer is more expert on the technologies that you can use to implement the final solution. So usually the data scientists implement a prototype, but then you have to use your products in production. And in order to do that, you need a data engineer that is able to select the best framework to implement, for instance, the pipeline designed by the data scientist, and is the most expert on the technologies. Usually in a company, you don't have only data scientist or data engineer. In companies based on data-driven solutions, you have groups of people. Some of them are data scientists, some of them are data engineers, some of them are mathematicians, some of them are from other backgrounds, some of them are specialists on the domain. Suppose that you are working for an insurance company, you have a group, a team in which you have data scientists, data engineer, but also someone that is expert on insurance activities on the insurance domain. Okay, and they work together to solve the problem, each one providing his knowledge and his expertise. Okay. Here I reported some application domain, but nowadays in all domains we are using data-driven solution. So we are using large language model, we are using ChatGPT or other systems similar to ChatGPT, Llama, more or less everywhere. So machine learning and big data are pervasive nowadays. Okay, so here I reported some example only to show you that a data scientist and a data engineer are figures that are useful in all companies nowadays, not only in the computer engineering domain or in the financial domain, in every companies, from automotive to healthcare, life science, everywhere we need data scientists and data engineers. The master degree in data science engineering at Politecnico di Torino is offered only in English, so all courses are in English. We have a good amount of international students, usually more or less between 30 to 40% of the students are international students coming from outside Italy. We have also some exchange programs. So during the second year, you can spend a period in another European university, or we have also a double degree program with Chicago. The top UIC is a double degree program with the University of Chicago in the US. Okay, and then we have also other several international agreements that allows you to spend a period abroad. For instance, in the second year, you can decide that you want to attend some courses in another university in Europe, and using the Erasmus Plus project, you can spend a period and attend only some courses or only the thesis period. This is something that you can do. Okay, so we have both double degree programs. In that case, usually you need to spend more time. If you try to attend a double degree program, usually you need to spend at least 2 years and a half, because in 2 years you cannot achieve two degrees from two different universities. Differently, there are many other programs that are used to spend a period abroad, not only in Italy, but also in some other university around Europe. And in that case, in 2 years, you can conclude everything. You don't have a double degree in that case, but you have also the experience of spending a period in another university. Okay, that's all for the general presentation of the master degree in data science and engineering. If you have questions related to the master degree in data engineering, obviously now we have time for questions, but I suggest you to subscribe yourself, if you can, to the Telegram group. This is the address of the Telegram group. This Telegram group is used to share information with the students. So if students, and also those who are not already students, also candidates, students for the master degree in data science engineering, can ask whatever they want, and the professors of this master degree answer to these questions. So not only myself, but also other professors answer to your questions if you use this channel. This is the standard channel that we use with the students before their enrollment, but also after they enroll. We have nowadays, I think, more or less 1,000 students enrolled in this Telegram group. So this is also a good option if you want to ask questions to other students. Suppose that you have issues with the visa or issue with something else, and you want to understand how other students solve the problem. Since in this group we have many students, they can also answer to questions that are more related to practical activities, like also how can I find an house, how can I rent an apartment in Turin. Okay, so I suggest you to subscribe to this Telegram group if you can. Okay, that's all for my presentation. If you have questions, you can write your question on the chat, or you can open the mic and ask directly using the mic. Maybe it is easier if you use the chat, but use the approach that you prefer. If you have any question. If you have questions more related to the practical steps, for instance, what is the next step for the enrollment? For that part, I suggest you to attend the event organized by the student office, or open a ticket using the ticketing service that we have. But if you have questions related to anything else, I can try to answer to your question. Where can I find the information about the first day? The first day, you mean when we will start the first day of the next academic year? Okay, the first date of the next academic year, let me check, is, because it's not already published, but we already know it. It is at the end of September, the 23rd of September. As you probably know, we have two terms. The first one usually starts at the end of September and ends at the beginning of January. And then there is more or less 1 month and a half for the first exam session. And then there are again courses and classes from the beginning of March to more or less the middle of June. And then there is another exam session from the middle of June to the end of July, usually, more or less. Okay, let me move to the next question. Okay, the total number of new students in 2024, I don't know already that value. The number that I mentioned before is the number of students who is actually associated with the Telegram group. But there we have students from year 2019 to today. Okay, during the previous year we had 158 enrolled students, and 50 of them, more or less, are international students. Okay, so usually we have 150 students, more or less, per year, and as I said before, between 30 to 40% of them are international students. Okay, so is it possible to do the master program part-time? Yes, officially it is possible to do the master thesis program part-time. When you enroll, you have to specify that you want to do it part-time. Obviously, in that case, you need more than 2 years. In that case, you have to pay a fee that is not the standard fee. You have to pay less. You select a smaller amount of courses, not all the course of the year, and then step by step you can continue. I only suggest you to check how it works for students, for international students, because I don't know if there is any specific rule if you want to apply for a part-time program if you are an international student. I don't know if there is any issue. Also, because when you come here, you arrive here with a visa that is related to your, according to the visa, you are a student. And if you plan to be at the same time a student and also maybe have a part-time job, the two things maybe are not compatible. So for this reason, I suggest you to open a ticket if you are interested in pushing the master degree program here at Polito using a part-time program approach. If you have problem with the visa, the approval of the visa, unfortunately, if you don't have the visa before the beginning of the classes, the only thing that we can do is that usually the majority of the professors use the following approach. We have the in-person class, but at the same time we are also streaming the lecture. So the majority of the professor also stream the lecture. So this means that even if you are not present here, if you are not at Polito, if you are not in Italy, not yet, you can attend the class remotely. Obviously, it's not like being in presence in the class, but you can attend them. Some other professors simply record the lecture and then share the video lectures later at the end of the day or at the end of the week. So even if you are not already in Italy for some visa problems, you can start attending the lectures using that approach. Will there be a replay of this meeting? If you are mentioning this meeting that is going on now, I'm recording the meeting and I plan to share the recording of the meeting. So if you did not attend the meeting from the beginning, you can see it again later when I think at the end of the week or at most at the beginning of the next week, we will share the recording of this video, okay, of this meeting. And obviously, if you have questions, you can contact me using the Telegram group, or you can send me an email to this address, referente.lm.dsc@polito.it. Okay, I'm currently having a full-time job. Is there an option for attending the program part-time and completing it more than 2 years? Yes, as I said before, it is something that is feasible. I don't know if you already have a full-time job here in Italy or not. So obviously, it is again related more to visa issues. If you have a full-time job, not in Italy, and if the full-time job is not something that you can do remotely, it can be complex to solve the issue. Differently, if you are an international student, but you are already working here in Italy or in Europe, I think that you can use the part-time approach. Okay, there is a question related to computational linear algebra for large-scale problem or statistical method in data science, if I can explain it again. Okay, in the first semester, as I told you, we have students from different bachelors. The majority of the students attending the master degree in data science engineering have a bachelor in computer engineering or computer science, but some of them um, um, have a bachelor degree in mathematics, for instance, or physics. In this case, computer linear algebra for large-scale problem is a more advanced course related to mathematical topics and statistical topics. If your background is, if your bachelor, for instance, is in mathematics or physics, I suggest you to select computational linear algebra for large-scale problem. Differently, if you have a bachelor in computer engineering or computer science, and you attended only one course related to statistics and mathematics, so if your knowledge of statistics and mathematics is potentially limited or not very deep, I suggest you to select statistical methods in data science. So statistical methods in data science is an introductory course for students who think that may have some weaknesses related to mathematics and statistics. So there is again a question related to how many students have been accepted for this program. Currently, the number of international students who applied for the academic year 24-25 is more than 300 students who applied. We select more or less 200 of them, and 150 students select this master's degree as their primary option. So if you remember, when you apply, you had the opportunity to select more than one, to candidate yourself for more than one master's degree, and more or less 150 students decided to select the international students this master's degree as first option. Okay, then obviously not all these students will enroll at the end in this master degree, because for different reasons, from visa to the fact that you decide to select another university, only a part of them will become a students of Politecnico di Torino. But based on the statistics of the previous year, I think that more or less we attempt to have between 50 to 60 or maybe 70 international students. For the Italian students, for the students with an Italian bachelor degree, the application opened only a few days ago and closed at the end of October. So we don't have already numbers related to the Italian students for the next year. For the current year, as I said before, we have more or less 158, so 160 students, and more or less 45, between 45 to 50 are international students. So 30% of the students this year are international students. Okay, there is a question related to, so we can spend the first year in Italy and the second in another country using the Erasmus program? Yes, potentially yes. So this is an opportunity that all the enrolled students have. Obviously, again, you need to pay attention to the visa. If you obtain the visa for attending the master's degree in data science engineering in Italy, and then in the second year using the Erasmus program, you move to France, probably you don't have issues with the visa. If you plan to apply for the double degree with Chicago in the US, in that case, maybe that you could have some issue with the visa. It depends on your country. If you are coming from a specific country, maybe that there are some specific rules. So that is the only constraint that you have. Okay. Are there any part-time working opportunities at the university related to data science and engineering? Okay, we don't have exactly part-time working opportunities, but there are some fellowship. You can support the teachers, so you can do something similar to a teaching assistant. During the lab activities, usually there is the teacher of the course. There are some PhD students or postdoc students who manage the lab activities, but also students enrolled in a master degree can apply to be involved in these activities. And in that way, obviously, you are paid because you are working for the university, you are supporting the teaching activities, and you can be paid for that. Okay, that is the easiest way for me to find a working opportunity and to support your period here in Italy, also from a financial point of view. Okay. Then there are also some scholarships that are not related to working activities, so some scholarship that you can apply to be supported financially for your period here in Italy. Okay, in the slides, second year, there is a semester 1/2. Okay, we have only 2 semesters. I wrote 1/2 because some of the courses that we have here are offered in the first semester. For instance, applied data science project is offered in the first semester. The internship can be done whatever you want in the first semester, in the second semester, or cross between the first and the second semester. In the free ECTS table, we have courses from the first semester and courses that are offered in the second semester. So for this reason here, I wrote 1/2 because it means that some of these courses are in the first semester and some in the second semester. And depending on what you select, it means that maybe that you have more courses in the first semester and only a few courses in the second semester. In that case, you can spend the entire second semester to the thesis, or it depends on what you select, maybe that you have a more well-balanced number of courses between the 2 courses. Okay, but we don't have a third semester or a third term. Okay, I'm a journalism student from Brazil interested in the data journalism area. I would like to know if I have to fulfill some mathematics per requirement or take an exam to be accepted at the program. Okay, the application for the program, if you are interested in this program, starting from the academic year 2024, in that case, the application are already closed. So you should already know if you have been admitted or not. Okay, if you do not apply in the previous month, you have to wait until next year, because usually the application for international students open at the end of the year in December, and there are 2 calls, one in December and the other one usually is more or less in March, February or March, and the outcome of the application is by the beginning of June. Okay, so depending on that, if you already applied and you have been admitted, send me an email and I will try to provide you the information about what you need to learn, maybe what you should try to learn before arriving here. Differently, if you did not apply, you have to wait until next year. And also in that case, please send me an email with some information about your background, and I will tell you if you can be admitted or not, and what you should do in order to be admitted. Okay, so in Rio is morning, okay. Yes, probably this time slot is not the best one, depending on on your country where you are. Is there any partnership between big and famous company and Polito? No, we don't have direct connection with companies, big companies like Google, Amazon, or something like that. But in Turin, there is a research center of Amazon. Is mainly focused on what's the name? Natural language processing and audio, but we don't have specific connection with these big companies. Okay, if you want, you can contact them. If they offer you an internship, you can do the thesis or the internship with them, but we don't have a direct contact with them. We have contact with some big consulting company in Italy, but we don't have a connection with the big techs that are mainly based in other countries, like the US or some European countries. Is it possible to have some courses other than courses in the curriculum? Yes, in the second semester of the second year, or maybe partially also in the first semester, you have these free ECTS credits. In this table, there is a table on the website associated with this free ECTS. There are some suggested courses. Those are courses that we suggest to you. But if there are courses offered by another master degree of Politecnico di Torino that are more aligned with your interest, and if you motivate well why you want to select one of those courses, you are allowed to do that. So you have more or less two courses that can be selected also from other master degrees. You can do that. You have to provide a motivation. If you simply write something like, I want to select that course because I can pass it more easily, obviously we cannot accept it. Okay, but if you say, I don't know, I want, for instance, to become more expert on the application of machine learning algorithms in the biomedical domain. So for this reason, I asked to select a course from the biomedical master degree. In that case, usually we accept your request because it's a reasonable request. Okay. For someone that has 2 years of work experience remotely from outside Europe, how can this program make your CV attractive? Would I enter the job market as a junior? Obviously, if you already have an experience, if you already work in the data science area or in the computer science area, together with the knowledge that we provide you during the master degree, I suppose that you can apply already for something that is not only a junior position. Okay. But as I said before, if you attend the master degree and you did not already had some jobs before, in that case, usually you are initially enrolled, you are initially hired as a junior data scientist or a junior data engineer. Okay. The other option that you have is the one related to the internship or the thesis. The thesis can be done in a company. In that case, you already have some experience, and maybe that the companies will be more happy to hire you directly as a data scientist or a data engineer, not only a junior data scientist or junior data engineer. What is the difference between part-time and full-time? The difference is that if you are full-time, you have to attend all the courses that I reported here, more or less following this schedule. And you are doing only that, so we expect that you can graduate in 2 years. Differently, if you use a part-time approach, if you enroll as a part-time student, in that case, each year you select only a subset of the courses. You need more time, obviously, to conclude the path and to obtain the master degree, but at the same time, you have time for doing also something else. If it is compatible with your visa, maybe that you can start working in a company and at the same time you attend the courses. But pay attention that doing at the same time the be at the same time a student at the master degree in data science engineering and also be a part-time employee is not easy. Okay, so I think it's better if you can to apply for a full-time position and spend all your time to attend the courses and pass the exams. In this way, you can conclude your career, your path in 2 years. Okay. Okay, do you think there may be opportunities for learning approaches to data science that will be specifically useful for geospatial data, in particular for GIS data? Okay, we don't have courses currently specifically focused on GIS data, but there are some professors that are working on geospatial data and GIS systems. So you can, for instance, do the thesis on that topic. During the thesis, you can learn new things related to GIS systems in general. Currently, we don't have courses covering it, not yet, at least. Okay, is Polito offering PhD in data science? Yes, we have PhD in computer engineering, but nowadays many of the students who are pursuing the PhD in computer engineering at Politecnico di Torino are working on machine learning algorithms, so they are more focused on data science. Okay, we have the PhD in Italy. Usually, first you obtain your master degree, and then you apply for a PhD position. Okay, so it's not like in other countries where you can at the same time be a master student and a PhD student. So in Italy, first you have to achieve the master degree, and then you can apply for the master. Sorry, for the PhD. Okay, so first the master and then the PhD. Can I take internship as well as free ECTS courses? Me, it's not yes, but it's also not no. So we first ask you to, if it's possible, to select only the internship or the free ECTS courses. But if you have some very well-motivated reasons to select both the internship and, for instance, large language model that is part of the free HTTS, you can ask to remove one of these courses. For instance, you can decide that you remove this table and you select one course from the free HTTS. The only constraint is that mandatory courses cannot be removed, so you cannot ask to remove innovation management, for instance, or data management and visualization, because they are fundamental courses and you have to attend them. But if in one of these sub-tables where you have possible options, so where you have an option like this, you decide to remove one of these options and you select a course from the free GTS, this is something that is allowed. Okay. 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 How do you view the job market for recent graduates in Italy? In Italy, we still have many requests for data engineers and data scientists. So I think that you will have good opportunities. Obviously, it depends also on what you want to do. At the beginning, probably you will be hired as a data engineer, because usually the current companies that we have in Italy are more focused on the data engineering part. And if you are at the beginning of your experience, they usually employ you as a data engineer. Some other companies also offer position like as a junior data scientist, but usually it's not the first job, in Italy at least. Okay. Does Polito have any connection to Swiss companies or university for PhD? No, direct connection with Swiss companies, no. We have connection with some Swiss universities. You can spend, for instance, a period there if you want to achieve a double degree. with some of the university in Swiss, ETF, for instance, HTF. For the PhD, again, usually it works in this way. You first obtain the master degree here, and then you can apply for a PhD also in other European universities. But we don't have a direct connection. So we don't have something like, okay, if you obtain the master degree here at Polito, you can go to, I don't know, Paris Tech for the PhD directly. The selection for the PhD in each university is managed by the university itself. So I can only say that the master degree that you achieve here can be used to apply for a PhD in any European country, and also not only in the European countries. Is it possible to pick up thesis from with a professor outside Italy? Yes, it's something that you can do, but you must always have also a professor from Italy. Okay, there is something that is called thesis abroad. So you can apply for a thesis abroad. You have also a scholarship for that if you win the application, if you are in the top of the ranking. In that case, you can select a foreign university. You go there to do your thesis. In that case, you have also obviously a foreign professor, a professor of a university outside Italy, but you must always also select a professor of the Politecnico di Torino, because we need to be sure that you are doing a work that is aligned with the expected work for a thesis at Polito. Okay. Do we have classes every day? If we choose full-time, yes, usually you have classes more or less every day, or at least 4 days per week. Usually it may happen that you have one day in which you have no lectures, but it's very rare. So usually you have between 4.5 hours per day up to 6 hours per day, and more or less every day if you use the full-time approach. For some courses, we have several options that you mentioned. If your bachelor is related to one, select something, otherwise something else. How these courses will be chosen? Okay, I suggest you to send me an email when you are preparing, when you are selecting the courses. Send me an email, or yes, the email is probably easier, or you can also use the Telegram contact, and provide me some information about your background. And based on that, I will suggest you which course is better, at least is mainly related to the first year. So you need to make a decision related to the first year for these two subtables, and these are related to your background. In the second year, you have also some options, but these are more related to what you are interested in and not to your background, to your previous background. Okay. The selection is not done by the university. At the beginning of the year, you have to select the courses that you want to attend. Obviously, you have the mandatory courses that those are automatically assigned to you, but then you have to select by yourself the courses where you have some options. Okay, and as I said before, send me an email if you have doubts about the best course based on your background, and I will try to support you. Is this course anyhow related to business intelligence? In the data management and visualization course, we have also something related to business intelligence. So business intelligence is a part of what nowadays is called big data analytics. So at the end, yes, we cover also that part. Is it possible to opt for dual career in Polito? No, you have to select one career. So you have to enroll to the master degree in data science and engineering, or to the master degree in mathematics, or to the master degree in computer engineering. You cannot be enrolled at the same time to 2 master degrees at Politecnico di Torino. Something changed in the law available in Italy, but it's something that is usually not permitted, not allowed. The thing that you can do is that you can achieve and earn the first master degree, and then you can enroll for a second master degree. That is something that you can do easily. Obviously, you need more than 2 years in that case. Do students who want to have an internship in the first/second semester have to find a company by themselves? Yes, that is what you have to do. So on the teaching portal, there are some opportunities. So the companies that offer internship already publish on a specific area, a reserved area in the student portal, the information about the available internship. If you find there an internship that is of interest for you, you can apply for that internship, or you can apply for other internships that are not reported, not listed on the teaching portal. So you can contact a company that you find, for instance, on LinkedIn or whatever you want. Then if they offer an internship opportunity and this internship opportunity is aligned with the expected content for an internship at Polito, we approve your request. Okay, so you first identify by yourself a company offering an internship. Then you have to provide information about the content of the internship to a professor that is in charge of checking the internships of the students. If the professor says, okay, the content of the internship that the company offer you is fine for me, you can start the internship. Okay. Do credits CFU correspond with an expected amount of study hours, for example, 8 hours or 10 hours per credits? Okay, in Italy, currently, every credit corresponds to 10 hours in class. So this means that, for instance, data science lab process and methods, 8 credits. This means that 80 hours of classes, lectures associated with this course. Then obviously you have to spend time at home alone to prepare yourself for the exam. So you cannot do everything in 80 hours. There are some hours that you have to spend by yourself to prepare for the final exam and to understand and learn the things that you need to learn. Okay, but every credit means 10 hours of lectures or lab activities. What is the deadline for enrollment and paying the fee? I don't remember exactly the deadline for international students. I suggest you to check on the webpage of the course, or better on the webpage of the Politecnico di Torino, because there you have the deadlines for everything. If you don't find the deadline, if you don't find the page with the deadline, send me an email and I will share with you the link to the page. But currently, I don't remember exactly the deadline for international students for paying the fee and finalizing the enrollment. Okay, which position do you suggest? Machine learning engineering or data scientist? Okay, it's more data engineer or data scientist, but they are both interesting from my point of view. Obviously, if you are a data scientist, you have to you design new algorithms, or maybe that you have the opportunity to design new algorithms, so it's more attractive from my point of view. But also being a data engineer or a machine learning engineer is very interesting, because you need to learn and you need to know very well the technologies that are available today and how to use them efficiently and effectively. So I think that both positions, both figures, professional figures, are very interesting, at least from my point of view. Obviously, everybody wants to become a data scientist because the data scientist seems to be a smarter position, but it's not true. Also, being a good data engineer is very complex, and you have to be a smart guy or a smart girl to be a good data engineer also. The classes start in September, as I wrote, I think before, September 23. This is the first day of lectures associated with the first semester. Okay, since choosing the courses should be done by us, should we do it through our portal or in person? No, it's something that you can do using the teaching portal. So there is a specific time period before the beginning of the lectures. You have time to define your study plan, and everything is based on an online procedure. You select the courses that you are interested in. If you select the courses from those that are reported in the tables that I show you, your study plan is approved. If you decide to select something from another master degree, in that case, your request is sent to a professor and a committee that is in charge of evaluating your request. And if your request is well motivated, it is approved. Otherwise, it is not approved, and you have to select other courses. Okay, this question will contain more than one question. What comes after the pre-enrollment procedure? Will University contact us for visa? Okay, for all these things, I suggest you to check the frequently asked question on the teaching portal or open a ticket with the student office. Because unfortunately, on this thing, I'm not prepared, and I don't want to provide you wrong answer. Also because, for instance, Universitali is something that is not directly managed by Politecnico di Torino, and so I don't know when they will answer to your request and what will happen. Okay. On the teaching portal, on the webpage of the Politecnico di Torino, there is a section where the student office uploaded also a video, if I remember well, with the information about how to proceed with the pre-enrollment, what you have to do, which are the next steps. So I suggest you to check that video if you have not already done it. That is the only information that we have for the next steps. And if you don't find an answer there, please open a ticket and wait. Unfortunately, I know that we don't have enough employees to answer daily to the ticket, so you have to wait maybe 1 week or something like that. But that is the other option that you have: open a ticket, raise a ticket. Another question is that when can we enroll the program and what is the exact fee? Okay, for the fee, there is again another page. If you send me an email, I can share you the link to the page where you can find information about the fee. And the fee depends on your country, where you come from. Is our spot in the class guaranteed, or is it on the first click basic? For some university, there are limited spots in a class. No, everybody can select the course that prefers. There are seats for everybody in the class, so no limitations. There is only one exception. For the applied data science project, since there are many practical activities, the majority of the course is based on practical activities, there is a maximum number of students who can select this course, and the number of students is currently set to 25. But this is the only course with a limited number of seats available. For all the other courses, all students can select the other courses and can attend the other courses. Okay? If the number of enrolled students is too high for a course, we split the course and we offer 2 instances of the course. Okay? So don't worry about, you don't need to be the first one to select a course except for applied data science project. For all the other courses, everybody can select the course and attend the course and pass the exam. I have not completed my bachelor. In fact, I will be graduating in the next weeks. Even if I have not uploaded my bachelor to the University, will be there a problem? Okay, this is again another question that unfortunately I don't have an answer. I don't want to provide you a misleading or a wrong answer. I suggest you to check on the fact that we have on the web page of Politecnico di Torino, or raise a ticket, or directly contact University Italy, because I don't want to provide you an information that is misleading and is something that unfortunately I don't know. Sorry. If I'm accepted by Polito this semester, but I can get the visa, so may I enroll for the next year when I pass the visa? No, unfortunately, if you are accepted for Polito this year, and if you're not able for visa issue to start attending the courses at the beginning and enroll for the academic year 2024-2025, you have to reapply again next year if you plan to start in 2025. Okay. Obviously, if you have been admitted this year, we will admit you also for the next year, but you have to apply again. And unfortunately, you have also to pay again for the application. Does Polito has sports facilities? We have some teams associated with sport activities. So if you want, you can also enroll in these sport team activities. But we don't have a sport. Yes, there are also some sports facilities nearby Polito. If I can get a visa, can I study online? No, if you cannot get the visa, you cannot officially finalize your enrollment, and so you cannot attend the courses online. So to my knowledge, you can start attending the courses online, but if you don't get the visa, and if you cannot come here officially in Italy, to my knowledge, you cannot achieve the master degree. You cannot pass the exams, you cannot attend the exams, and so you cannot earn the master degree. Yes, we have some sport facilities like a pool and gym, not exactly inside the university. There are some other buildings managed by some, not directly by the university, but they are connected with the university, so you have some discounts if you want to go there. This is what you have. Okay, but then, as I said, we have also some teams. For instance, if you want, you can be part of the soccer team of Polito, and in that case, you may have also some credits for your sport activities if you want. Okay, any other question? Okay, regarding collaboration and exchange program with the US, currently we have one single collaboration, or better, one single double degree program, that is the one related to what is the top UIC program. The top UIC program allows you to achieve two master degrees, the one at Politecnico di Torino and the one offered by the University of Chicago at Illinois. In that case, you have to apply at the beginning of the first year. So at the beginning of the first year, we open a call for this program. You have to apply, and based on your bachelor, because when you apply, you have only your bachelor result, you can be admitted or not to this program. Okay, but as I said before, pay attention that obviously then you must be allowed to go there. So pay attention also to visa issues, because it may be that depending on your country, you need more time to obtain a visa for the US, and so pay attention to that. But if you are admitted to the double degree program with the University of Chicago, in that case, you spend the first year here in Italy and the second year in Chicago. And also the thesis is done there. For the requirements, I suggest you to check when the call is open, but it's mainly related to the mark, to the grade of your bachelor courses and your bachelor degree. Okay, and then you have also, if you are accepted for this degree, you have to pass all the exams of the first semester at Politecnico di Torino with a mark that is at least equal to 26, if I remember well. Okay, so you have to pass all the exams of the first semester in the first call in January, and you must have at least an average degree, an average grade that is at least equal to 26, if I remember well. Okay. When can we apply for Erasmus? For Erasmus, usually it is at the end of the first semester or at the beginning of the second semester of the first year, more or less. So usually in January, February, in this case, January, February of 2025. Usually that is the period, because usually you spend the first year here, and then the Erasmus period is usually associated with a semester or a year in the second year of the master. Would it be a problem if you arrive late in Italy due to problem with the visa, for example, 2 or 3 weeks later? As I mentioned before, usually the majority of the professors, mainly in the first semester, but also in the other semester, use also the streaming approach. So during the lectures, we stream also the lectures, so you can attend in real time. Obviously, if it is compatible with your time zone. But usually we also record the lectures. So this means that offline you can attend the lecture. Obviously, it's not like being online, but is another way that you can use if for some issue with the visa you cannot arrive immediately. In this way, you can start learning and start attending the lectures using an offline asynchronous approach. But to my knowledge, all the courses of the first semester offer also this opportunity, and also the majority of the courses of the second and semester and the second year. Within that, this approach based on streaming and also video lectures is useful also if you are attending in person, because you can attend the lecture, maybe that there is something that you don't understand well, you can ask obviously question to the professor, but then you can also decide that you simply watch again that part of the lecture, and maybe that watching again that part of the lecture, you can already by yourself understand and solve your problem and answer to your question. Can you show your email again? Oh, yes, sure. This is the email. If you write this email, the message arrives to me. So you can use this, or you can use the Telegram group, open a private chat. Is there any course is there any courses on Italian language? Yes, if you are a foreign student and if you don't have already certificates, an Italian certificates, you have to attend an Italian course related to the Italian language. If this is the question, there are also courses offered only in Italian, but not for this master degree. So for this master degree, all courses are offered in English. Okay, but you have to learn also something about the Italian language. So in your study plan, if you don't have already a language certificate related to the Italian language, you have to attend a course and pass an introductory course related to the Italian language. B1, the B1 level, if I remember well, for the Italian language. B2 for the English language. Yes, I can share this PDF file. Let me try to do it in real time. Because I plan to share it on the web page of the master degree, but let me try to share it immediately using a Dropbox link. A few seconds that I create a link. Okay, if you click on this link, you should be able to download the PDF file of this presentation. But as I said before, I plan to upload it also on the webpage of the master degree. Does the university offer an Italian course? Okay, I already answered to that question, I think. Okay, yes. For international students, there is an Italian course, so you can attend that Italian course to pass the exam. Okay. Okay. Any other question? Okay, someone is typing something, so maybe we still have some questions. Is it possible to apply for a double degree? Yes, to my knowledge, you can apply for a double degree. But it means that first you apply for this master degree, and then when the double degree calls open, you can apply. Okay, under what conditions? Usually everything is based on your average mark, because you apply for a position, then there is a ranking that is based on your mark usually. This is the only thing that we can consider easily to apply a ranking. And if you are in the top part of the ranking, you can go. But as I said before, pay attention to visa issues, because maybe that depending on your country, it depends on when you come from. Maybe you have some constraints related to the opportunity for a double degree with another university outside Italy. Are there many Vietnamese students who attend this course? I'm not aware of students from Vietnam. I can check, but I don't have this statistic, at least not now. If you send me an email, I can check with the student office if we have some students from your country, but I don't remember many students from that country. Maybe someone maybe come from that country, but I don't know how many. Are there any opportunity and facility for sport in Polito? As I answered before to a similar question, there are some inside Polito. We don't have a swimming pool, or we don't have a gym, but there are many buildings and many opportunities around Polito, and there are also some connection with these facilities. In this way, you can have some discounts, you can pay less for it. But it's not like, I don't know, an American campus in which you have any type of facilities for sport. Unfortunately, we don't have them. We hope that in the future we can do something, but we don't have it yet inside the campus. How do we join any research group? Okay, if you are interested in doing research activities, usually the first moment in which you can start research activities, the first moment in which you can start interacting with a research group is during the thesis. Okay, so this is quite common in Italy. So in Italy, usually when you are a student, you spend your time to study, to attend classes, and then you start doing some research activities during the thesis, the master thesis. That is what usually happens. You can also you can start doing research activities with a research group if you are interested in before, but usually the thesis is the moment in which you start doing research activities. If you are interested in information about the research teams available at Polito, focused on computer engineering and data science, you can find information here on the Department of Control and Computer Engineering. Let me share the link. Okay, this is the Department of Control and Computer Engineering. The majority of the groups, the research groups associated with this department, are working on data science, computer vision, natural language processing. Not all of them, but many of them. So if you are interested in understanding which are the main research activities and the main research groups that we have at Polito related to data science and computer engineering, you can check on this webpage. Okay. The Department of Control and Computer Engineering is the same department that is connected with or is managing the master degree in computer engineering and the master degree in mechatronics. So those research groups are not all focused only on on data science. There are also groups related to something else. Can you say from which country we have international students mostly? In the last year we received applications and we have foreign students mainly from Iran, Turkish students, and Chinese people. These are probably Pakistan. These are the four most the countries with more international students here at Politecnico di Torino. But I don't have the exact number. But these are the countries where from where many of our students come from. Is it possible to join a research group or internship in other departments? Okay, the internship are with companies, so usually you are not allowed to do an internship with a department at Politecnico di Torino. The internship is with a company, an external company that offers you an internship opportunity. And to join a research group, if you are interested in doing a thesis with a professor that is not from the Darwin department, that's fine. But again, it depends on what you mean with join a research group. Okay, when you are a student, you are not part of a research group usually in Italy. Not only at the master degree in data science engineering. In general, in Italy, as I mentioned before, when you are a master student, you are a master student. You spend time doing the thesis, attending the courses, passing the exams, and then during the thesis, you start working with a research group. But usually you don't join a research group before the thesis. Yes, usually the internship are paid. It depends on the company. It's not mandatory to pay you, but usually during the internship, the company pays you something for the internship because you are learning something, but you are also doing something for them. So it is reasonable to be paid for it. Okay. Any other question? Okay, someone is typing something. Okay. Okay, if you have no other questions, I think that we can conclude here. As I already said many times, if you have other questions, you can send me an email, or you can contact me or other professor or other students using the Telegram group. And I plan to share with you not only the PDF file, but also the lecture. Does the students have the option to choose the supervisor professor for his or her thesis? Yes. It works in this way. When you are ready for starting the thesis, you contact the professors of the Politecnico di Torino. Initially, usually you contact the professors of the courses that you attended, but you can contact any professor of Politecnico di Torino, and you ask them, to the professor, if they have thesis opportunities, and if they have thesis opportunities related to topics that you are interested in, and if you match also their requirements, because some of the professor asked you to have some specific knowledge to apply for the thesis that they propose, in that case you can start the thesis. But yes, you select by yourself the professor that is going to supervise you during the thesis. For the internship opportunity, it works in this way. First option, on the teaching portal, when you log in the teaching portal, you can access all the information related to the courses, but there is also a specific section, and this section is related to internship. Companies can publish internship opportunities in that specific area of the teaching portal. If there is one opportunity there that is of interest for you, you can apply for the internship. When you apply for the internship, the company contacts you, there is an interview, and if at the end of the interview, you and the company decide that the internship that they propose is a good option for you, and if you have the basic skills that are needed for attending the internship with success, in that case, you can start the internship. This is the first option. The second option, there are some internship opportunities on the teaching portal, but these internship opportunities are related to something that is not of interest for you. You can find by yourself a company outside the teaching portal offering an internship opportunity, and if this internship opportunity is related to something that is connected to data science and engineering, and if a professor that is in charge of approving this request says, okay, the internship opportunity that you found by yourself is fine for us, you can start the internship opportunity. So by yourself, try to identify a company offering an internship opportunity using the teaching portal or using the other channels. And in both cases, at the end, you have to ask the approval of a professor that is in charge of approving the internship activities. But usually, if you find an opportunity by yourself, usually the companies already know what you have to do for an internship at Polito, so usually we simply approve your request. Okay, so if you have no other question, thank you again for attending this meeting, and I hope to meet you in the next month here at Polito, and I hope that you will start say your next step of your educational path with us at Politecnico di Torino. Okay. Thank you again for attending the meeting, and have a nice day. Depending also, or a nice night if you are late in the night. Okay. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you again for attending the meeting. Bye.